What's good, YouTube fam? D-Rock here, and in this video I'm going to be going over how you can have the perfect start in Pokémon Legends Arceus by making the right choice on your starter for your very first playthrough of the game. I'll be going over each of the starters in the game, what the advantages and disadvantages of choosing one or the other are, what each of the starter Pokémon are weak and strong against, as well as going over the stat spread of each starter. I will also be talking about how well each of the starters will match up against the Noble and Alpha Pokémon, which you will be facing frequently in Legends. Towards the end of the video, I'll be telling you which starter I'll be choosing and why I think it's the best for a particular playthrough of Pokémon Legends Arceus. Let's get into it. Let's dive into some of the advantages and disadvantages of each of the starter Pokemon. Let's start with our grass starter, Rowlet, and the disadvantages you will have if you choose this Pokemon as your starter. One of the biggest and most glaring disadvantages of choosing Rowlet is the amount of weaknesses this Pokemon has. Rowlet is a grass flying type Pokemon, and because of this typing, Rowlet has a total of 5 weaknesses, one of which does 4 times damage to Rowlet. His weaknesses are fire, flying, rock, poison, and ice, which the latter is the one that does 4 times the damage. Another disadvantage to choosing Rowlet is that it is very weak against the noble Pokemon that you will end up facing in Pokémon Legends Arceus. Switching it up to the advantages of choosing Rowlet, a decent advantage that you'll have of picking our little green friend is that Rowlet is the only one of the starters that has an immunity to a certain type, that being ground. Another plus of picking Rowlet is that he has a really good offensive move pool that lines up perfectly with his stats, which I will be discussing more towards the end of the video. Lastly, another big advantage of picking Rowlet is that Rowlet has the highest base stat of each of the 3 starters, which is going to play an even bigger role in PLA, at least in my opinion. Next up on our list is the fire type starter from Gen 2, Cyndaquil. Starting with the disadvantages for picking this fire type Pokemon first, and the only glaring disadvantage in my opinion is that Cyndaquil will be weak against one of the first noble Pokemon that you encounter in the game, which is Cleaver. I mean, I guess you can nitpick at the design, but in my personal opinion, I actually quite like Cyndaquil's design. As far as advantages go, Cyndaquil has a bunch. For one, Cyndaquil has the most resistances of any of the 3 starters. Cyndaquil is resistant to fire, ice, fairy, grass, bug, and steel. A lot of this is due to the fact that Cyndaquil is just a fire type. I didn't mean to downgrade the power of the amazing fire type Pokemon, but I have to admit, this is a contributing factor nonetheless. Another advantage you will gain in choosing Cyndaquil over the other starters is that this Pokemon has the highest speed stat out of any of the 3 starters. If you are new to this game or the Pokemon games in general, having a good speed stat right away for some is really important because it allows you to attack first in most cases, dealing quick damage if you're trying to grind for levels or if you're just wanting to get a battle over with as soon as possible. Next up, some of the advantages and disadvantages of Oshawott. Oshawott is a pure water type, much like Cyndaquil being a pure fire type, and is the most balanced when it comes to its typing. One of Oshawott's disadvantages is that this Pokemon, compared to the other 2, has the lowest base stats. Oshawott has only 2 weaknesses, being grass and electric, and it is super effective against fire, rock, and ground types. At this point in the video, I'd like to get into some of the base stats for each of the starters so that if you haven't made your decision yet, maybe this section of the video will help. Now when it comes to stats, Rowlet has the highest base stat total at the first and second stages of his evolutions, which makes it useful at the start of the game. However, once they reach their final evolutions, all 3 starters will have mostly even base stat totals. Both Decidueye and Samurott have roughly the same attack and special attack stats, which make them incredibly versatile while playing through the main story, since your Pokemon will not always have their ideal movesets. However, Typhlosion not only has the highest base stat total among the starters at their final evolution, it also has the highest speed stat, which means that it will often attack first in most battles you encounter. Kinda touched on that at the beginning. The grass starter Rowlet's base stat spread is 68 HP, 55 attack, 50 special attack, 55 defense, 42 special defense, for a total of 320. Rowlet's evolved form, Dartrix, has 78 base HP, 75 attack, 70 special attack, 75 defense, 70 special defense, 52 speed, for a total of 420. Finally, Rowlet's third form, Decidueye, which will be getting a Hisuian form, has 78 base HP, 107 attack, 100 special attack, 75 defense, 100 special defense, 70 speed, for a total of 530. The fire starter Cyndaquil has a base HP of 39, 52 attack, 60 special attack, 43 defense, 50 special defense, 65 speed for a total of 309. Cyndaquil's first evolution, Cool Lava, has a base HP of 58, 64 attack, 80 special attack, 58 defense, 65 special defense, 80 speed for a total of 405. The Firestarter's third and final form, Typhlosion, which will also be getting a Hisuian form, has a base HP of 78, 84 attack, 109 special attack, 78 defense, 85 special defense, 100 speed for a total of 534. Our water type starter, Oshawott, has a base HP of 55, 55 attack, 63 special attack, 45 defense, 45 special defense, 45 speed with a total of 308. Oshawott's second form, Duot, has a base HP of 75, 75 attack, 83 special attack, 60 defense, 60 special defense, and 60 speed for a total of 413. Oshawott's third evolution, Samurott, yes, who is getting a Hisuian form, has a base HP of 95, a 100 attack, 108 special attack, 85 defense, 70 special defense, and 70 speed for a total of 528. Let's talk about how the starters will match up against the Noble and Alpha Pokemon. Some of the most difficult battles you will face in Pokemon Legends are likely against the Noble and Alpha Pokemon. Though I do not have a full list of these Pokemon, I will have a chart here explaining how well the current ones match up against the starters. So looking at this chart, starting with Rowlet, the only Noble Pokemon that has been confirmed as of the making of this video is Cleaver, and Rowlet has a disadvantage against this Noble Pokemon because of its typing. In PLA, Cleaver is a rock bug type, which a grass flying type like Rowlet really can't do much against. Cyndaquil is also at a disadvantage here because of the same reason. Cyndaquil is a pure fire type, which is weak against Cleaver as far as the rock typing goes. If you're basing your decision to choose your starter based on the Noble Pokemon that has been shown thus far, then the water type Pokemon Oshawott would give you the best possible chance to win based on typing alone. Oshawott is a pure water type Pokemon, which will help you greatly against the first Noble Pokemon you will most likely encounter. Now, as far as what Alpha Pokemon we have seen up to this point, Rowlet is at a disadvantage against Electivire, Drapion, Luxray, Honchkrow, Crobat, Frostlass, and Glalie. This is, of course, assuming you still have a Rowlet when you encounter these Alpha Pokemon, of course. Rowlet has an advantage in battle as far as typing goes against Alpha Garchomp, Ursaring, and Gyarados. For Cyndaquil going up against the Alpha Pokemon, he has an even chance against Electivire, being that both electric and fire types are not weak to or super effective against each other, as well as Ursaring, Drapion, Probopass, Luxray, Honchkrow, Crobat, Frostlass, Snorlax, Hisuian, Zoroark, Chimecho, and Glalie. Cyndaquil has no advantages against these Alpha Pokemon, but don't let that stop you from choosing this little guy. Again, my goal here is to point out every little detail for each Pokemon so that your choice is that much easier. The water type Oshawott has only 2 advantages against the Alpha Pokemon, which are weak against Cleaver and Probopass. He will have a disadvantage against Electivire, and will be neutral against the rest of the alphas that we've covered previously. Alright, so now for that part that I promised at the end, which is D-Rock. What start are you picking? See? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to be picking Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is the best among the 3 starters due to its great typing and above average speed. Of course, I am just basing this off of how much I have loved using this starter throughout the previous generations, so who knows? My plan might change after the release of Pokémon Legends Arceus. I also really enjoy Cyndaquil's design. Since Cyndaquil has the highest speed stat of the bunch, it easily outspeeds many of the other Pokemon in the region, which lets you take them out before they could even make a move. Speed might also be an important factor in calculating some of the new battle mechanics like action orders, for example. Its pure fire typing is great both defensively and offensively, however, it may struggle with some of the Noble and Alpha Pokemon like Cleaver and Gyarados. I just need to make sure that I find a pretty good water type to combat Cyndaquil's weaknesses is all. So there you go, Pokefans. In my opinion, this is how you can have the perfect start in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Look, in all honesty, it really doesn't matter which starter you choose because in the end, you can always just go and catch a Pokemon that negates your starter's weaknesses, so it's really all based on your own opinion. However, I do realize that it can be a difficult decision to make, and having the individual stats as well as strengths and weaknesses of each starter Pokemon could potentially make the decision to choose the best starter for your first playthrough of PLA a lot easier, hence the point of the video. I sure hope this video helped and brought you value, and if it did, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, hit the bell to be notified when I post new tips and tricks videos for Pokemon Legends. Click on this video here to watch another tips and tricks video for Pokemon Legends Arceus that I made recently. Until next time, I'm D-Rock, much peace and love, be the light.